All right, so the first thing that I want to do before we dive into the entire course is to kind of go over the results that we have gotten over the last several months. And the reason that I want to do this is because, one, I want to show you what is possible if you actually implement the things in this course, and two, I want to get you excited to go through the entire thing because the results that we've seen in the last 3-4 months have absolutely eclipsed everything that we've done for years before. So just looking at this graph, this is the YouTube channel. This is the amount of this is watch time, but it basically correlates very well to the amount of views that we had over the last year and a half. And then we could even scroll back farther into 2013. I had this channel, I had videos on it, videos that are today very popular, but other than an occasional spike when somebody would share a video on a big site, we didn't really have a channel. Nothing was going on. We had a maximum of about 220,000 views. Flash forward to the last couple of months, and this is what has happened. Now, these are just from the last 28 days, keep in mind. We've had over 400,000 views, so basically twice as many views in the last month as the previous year and a half. We've gotten nearly 11,000 YouTube subscribers. Those are people who have subscribed to our channel. They will get notified, one, to their email, but also on their YouTube homepage whenever we create a new video. And this is ad revenue, nearly $600. And I'm expecting that, honestly, to double or triple over the course of the month. So this has been really exciting. But what's more exciting than these vanity metrics are some of the things that actually equate to money. So I want to show you those. Approximating money for us is emails, right? If you run a business, one of the most powerful way to contact your customers is via email. That is where a lot of sales and a lot of money is generated. So in the last 30 days, we've gotten over 5,000 new email contacts, and that is huge for us because those have a dollar value attached to them. We know that we're going to sell a certain amount of the programs that we have to our email list, and you can do the same thing. So this is actually an understatement because, as I've said, it's continued to grow. This is 5,000 over 30 days. This is just today, and you can see here, if you do a little bit of quick math, we're looking at over 550 new email contacts captured just today, and this is only off of YouTube, right? So if you think of that from your own business, if you have an email list, what would it mean to get 550 people every single day coming through? It's absolutely incredible. It's blowing my mind that this is happening. But the most exciting stuff, like I said, is actually the money, right? Subscribers are nice, emails are nice, but it ultimately comes down to what is the revenue and what is the profit that you're generating. So this is just one of the products that we sell. This is over the last 30 days, we've made $2,000. And the nice thing about this is that this is a product I'm going to show you in the funnel that we sell immediately to people who come in through YouTube. So basically what will happen, you'll see in the funnel, is that they come into our YouTube channel, they're offered another video, and within that video there's an offer for a low price product. This is the money that we make immediately. It's the same day that somebody watches a YouTube channel. That's $2,000. But more than that is once we can nurture that relationship, right? Once you're on the email list, maybe we've sold you a small product. Down the line, after we've built a relationship and given you some good stuff, we can sell more expensive products. And that is what this shows. This is over the last 30 days. You can see nearly $10,000. Reds are refunds, blues are sales. There's recurring revenue in here as well. But if you total all this up, you're looking at about $12,000 over the last 30 days off of 2 products and ad revenue just in YouTube. Plus, it's growing like crazy. So that is the kind of results that we've had. It's been super exciting on my end. I know that I've become an addict to watching these analytics just go up. But more exciting than that is that we've created a system, right? I had YouTube for years and years previous to this, but couldn't get it to pop. And now that we've sort of created this system, this has been consistent over the last several months, and it's continued to grow. So that's what I want to share with you in this course. How can you set up your channel so that you're getting results like this? That is what we're going to cover in this course. Stick around because you're going to see exactly how to do it.
Hey guys, a big warm welcome to the YouTube marketing course. I'm Benji.
And I'm Charlie.
And inside this module, we're going to be showing you the 4 best tips to get the most out of these courses to increase your results. The very first tip is inside the downloads bar right now, I've included a PDF for you that outlines everything that's upcoming in this course and the most important aspects from each lecture and each module. So go ahead and download that now and get an overview of the course so you can expect what you're about to learn and you will know when you're learning something, why you're learning it.
The second piece is to realize that this course is set up sort of modularly, and it starts at the most basic beginner level, right? The beginning is for people that maybe don't know much about YouTube or don't even have a channel. But if you're an advanced marketer, if you have a channel, don't worry. As you get in, it gets much more advanced and sort of ramps up linearly. So one more tip, the third tip for this is that if you are one of those more advanced people, but you still want to go through those modules at the beginning and see, hey, maybe these are the basics, but I might have skipped something, you can go ahead and use the button down here to speed up your experience, right? You can go at 1.25 speed, 1.5 speed, or if you can understand it, at 2 times speed. And that's going to be useful for people who want to just review things. Maybe it's something that you've understood, or you just want to get through this course faster so that you can be implementing and seeing the results.
The very fourth tip is probably the most important tip, and it's a small little action starter mission, and it's to introduce yourself right now in the comments in the Udemy section. There's a couple of reasons why we do this. We do it for accountability, to make sure you guys are pledging commitment to the course, and also so you can meet us and we can reply to you and get you started in the course. What we want you to do is put your name, your business name, and what category or niche your business is in. Did you want to start, Charlie?
I'll go ahead and start. So again, the entire idea behind this is there's going to be a lot of actions throughout this course. And just to get in the habit of doing the actions, go through, do this one. It might seem silly, but write your name, write your niche, write your business. I'll tell you about me. So I'm Charlie Hoopert. My niche is sort of the charisma, confidence, personal development niche. And my YouTube channel is Charisma on Command. What we do there is we create videos that teach people how to be more charismatic and confident in the moments that matter the most. So that's my little intro for you. I look forward to reading what you guys have for us. So to get started, we're going to do a little activity to get you involved because we don't want this just to be a lecture on how YouTube works. This should be something that actually helps you grow your channel and the associated business with it if there is one. So the first mission is going to be this. It's going to be to find someone who is in your niche, someone similar, doing things similar to what you'd like to be doing, and to go describe what they're doing, their content in their channel in about 5 words, just to get a good idea of what kind of content you could be creating that might resonate with your audience. So as an example, I'm in the charisma and confidence niche right here. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and I'm doing this live, is to Google charisma. So we've got charisma. Let's see. We got charisma. This is all our stuff because I've been there before. Okay. 5 habits of exceptionally charismatic people. Vanessa Van Edwards. Let's take a look. She's got 47,000 subscribers. This is a good example. Science of people. Liked videos. Okay, so let's see what her uploads are. She's all over the place. Secret of happiness. Now, one thing that we can do here as we go through this is to go to her top videos because she's got a ton of uploads. It looks like she might not be just doing this for her business, but let's go to most popular. Okay, decoding female body language. That's an interesting one. So I might write down the word body language because that's by far her most popular one. Again, male body language, how to turn people on. So perhaps flirting. I see again, attraction is in here. So already I'm starting to come up with ideas. As I look at these videos, I'm going to just play the number 1. I noticed, okay, so this is a TV show, it looks like that she's done. So obviously if you have any of that going on, that's going to be good for you. But I'm looking for this style of video. I'll keep the sound off. But what you look is, I call this a talking head. I'm not the only one who calls it a talking head. I didn't invent that. But you basically have 2 people going back and forth with each other, and she's enacting the things with her face. Now, there's other channels similar to ours that might have someone talking over a screencast. That's what you're watching right now. You don't actually see my face, but you hear me talking. Now, because this is in the charisma space, I'm not surprised to find that a lot of these include a human face. So I might write that down as well, talking face. So I've got body language, I've got attraction, I've got talking head video, and that's the big things that I see here. Now, the backgrounds that she has, she's got a white background. Sometimes she's got a little picture that's going to go. The last thing that I might do is, here's one, single best pickup line ever. I'm also looking at the type of titles that she has that are popular. So obviously we're in the realm of body language, but are they questions? Are they clickbaity? How to get someone to confess? They're generally pretty succinct. What to say to get your way, how to tell, how to. So that's another thing that I might write down. How to, I see one question here. I'm going to just watch one more video to get an idea of what she does when she's not on television.
Are your legs tired? Because you've been running through my mind all day long. I lost my number. Can I get...
and this is something else. Now, this is going to be common across a lot of different channels, but one of the things that I see immediately is that there's a hook, right? It starts with these cheesy pickup lines. So that might be something else that I write down, is to hook with the type of thing that we're doing. So if I'm doing body language, I might start with one really interesting tip about body language rather than introducing myself and say what it is that I do. So that gives you an idea of these little starter missions. Your job right now is to go in. You can start by just typing in your niche into YouTube and find out what people in your niche are doing. Get an idea of what the popular videos are doing. I've looked at just one channel here. You can look at 3 or 4, but I've wanted to make it very, very simple. 5 words to describe the type of successful content that is already out there in your niche. That's going to get you on the right track.
Hey guys, welcome to Module 2. Inside this module, we're going to show you how to set up your YouTube account for your business and also a brief tour of the YouTube platform.
So this is going to be important, especially for those of you who haven't yet engaged in YouTube, right? If you're taking this course, it's possible that you already have a channel, but maybe this is the first time that you've ever experimented with YouTube. This module is for those of you that fit that second category. If you're in the first category, no sweat. There's lots of really new advanced stuff in this course, but for this one, you're probably just going to want to go through quickly or click the little box that says mark as complete. You'll be able to move along and get to the other stuff faster. If this is new to you, take your time, go slow. These are the absolute basics of how to set up a channel, how YouTube works, and how you're going to be able to use it to get lots of views, lots of subscribers, and at the end of the day, generate lots of income.
Hey guys, Benji here, and I'm going to show you really quickly, if you don't already have a YouTube channel, how to set one up really quickly with your Gmail account. If you don't have a Gmail, I'll show you how to get one of those too. If you already have a YouTube account and it's the one for your business that you want to use, go ahead and mark this lecture as complete, and I'll see you in the next lecture. For those of you who are still here, go ahead and go to youtube.com's homepage. So www.youtube.com. And then you'll see a blue button in the top right corner. Go ahead and click that blue sign in button and it will redirect you to Google. So if you're already signed into Google, it may just push you back to the YouTube page and you already have your account. If you're not signed in and you do have Gmail, go ahead and enter your email here, and then in the next window, it will prompt you to enter your password and it'll redirect you back to YouTube where you then have an account. If you don't have a Google account, you're going to have to create one because YouTube and Google are now owned both by Google, and they require you to have a Google account in order to have a YouTube account. So you're going to have to go create the account down the bottom, come in and fill in this form. So I'm just going to type in really quickly, what email address or Gmail address would you like? You're going to need a new one, so click that really quick. Create a password, retype your password in there, choose your birthday, your gender, pretty easy, mobile phone, I don't believe you have to put in, current email address, you can put in here if you need, and then just this CACHPA, which I think is 407. I'm in Colombia right now. Agree to the terms and conditions and click next step. Awesome. We have a new email address right here and we can use this on Gmail. Gmail is a great service to actually use, but we just want this right now for YouTube. So I'm going to go continue to YouTube. And we're back on the YouTube page. This time, however, instead of a blue button, we have a little blank profile picture. And that's because we haven't edited our account. I'm going to let Charlie show you exactly how to optimize your account for best results, but you now have the account and now we can move on to the next lecture and get started with the fun stuff.
So now I'm going to give you a quick tour of YouTube. And if you're at all a familiar YouTuber, no need to go through this. This is for the people who might just be starting. I want to give you an idea of what the homepage is like, what some of the other options that you have in terms of navigating to your channel and settings and that thing. So if you're not familiar, this is the YouTube homepage. And you may or may not have this little sidebar here. That thing seems to come in and out depending on your preferences. But the basic idea of the homepage is that it's got videos that YouTube has associated with you, right? And these might be videos that you have watched watched. In some case, I'll scroll down and see if they have watch it again. Here are videos that I've already watched. These are videos sometimes from channels that I've watched. So I've watched Jimmy Fallon in the past, and it's offering me some Jimmy Fallon. Up here, it's got recommended, which is based on things that I've seen, things that are trending, all that kind of stuff. So YouTube's goal on the homepage is basically to get me to click any of these. They want me to spend time watching YouTube videos. Why? Because sometimes before those videos, there's an ad, and YouTube makes money, as does the video creator. So that's what this homepage is. It's basically a whole trap to get you to spend tons of hours watching YouTube, and it's designed based on your preferences. This becomes important because your goal, what we're going to talk about, is going to be to appear on the homepage of other people. And there's a number of ways to do that. You can get subscriptions. You can be related to other trending topics. We're going to go into all of them and how to do it, but that's the homepage, and that's what we're talking about when we say let's appear on the homepage. If I go up here, I have a number of options, right? And I'm going to skip over this, but you have these other little tabs right here. You can see what's trending, and of course, your subscriptions. That's when you say that I would like to see more from this channel, so I want to make a special page and also notify me via email, though it often will hit your social tab in Gmail, when these people make a new video, because I really like what they do and I want to be notified. In any event, back to the main homepage, there's these three little icons up here. The first is upload, and if I hit that, it's kind of obvious what's going to happen. This is where you upload your YouTube videos. The one thing that I would say typically is when you're uploading a video, I often schedule mine. I typically don't upload them and then immediately have them go public, so I often want to hit that. I'll pick a file to upload, and that'll be when we optimize the video. We're going to cover all of that. Next to upload is this little bell, and that is the notification bell. I tend not to use this because it gets unruly, but this tells you when people have shared or commented on your video. If you have a smaller channel, this actually might be a decent way to go through things, but I actually find that there's better ways to deal with comments once you started to grow, and that's going to be in your YouTube channel. So right here, we've got a couple things. This is just, I guess, a personal account that I have. I don't even know why I have 47 subscribers, but the main channel here, these are going to be all of the channels that you have associated with your email address. And they can actually be different email addresses that you sort of link together. But you're going to spend a lot of time clicking this and then clicking Creator Studio. This is going to take you to the main YouTube dashboard. You're going to do a lot of work out of here. On the sidebar, you have a ton of different options, each with their own drop down. If I click community, for instance, that's going to give me an option for comments and messages and all these kinds of things. We'll dive into that. 104 likely spam. It gets unruly. I'll talk later about how to set that up and deal with comments. But these are the sidebars. You've got your analytics, channels, anything related to your channel. We're going to go in there to set up things for allowing people to subscribe to your channel. All these little optimization tweaks that we can do will come, a lot of them from the sidebar. And then if you scroll down, sometimes YouTube gives you some tips and, of course, your friendly analytics for the last 28 days, which can be really nice. The last thing that I'll say is that you've got this YouTube settings. You're not going to spend a lot of time here, but you will go here every now and then to, for instance, set up, connect certain accounts in terms of AdWords, right? If I click here, or if I want to connect my Twitter, you'll spend a very little bit of time here, but it is important to know that when YouTube, like if you go to YouTube Help and it says go to your account settings, what they're referring to is that little gear icon. So everything that you've seen, we can and will dive into much more deeply, but that is a broad overview of YouTube. The one other thing I should recommend that I realize I might have left out is the channel, right? So that's your actual channel. And if you go to anyone's channel, this is going to be what it looks like. So I click View Channel, and this is going to show me, it's got a couple options because it's my channel, but this shows me what the channel is. And you see here, it's got one video that's going to sort of be primary. If I were to go to somebody else's channel, here's just some guy who reached out to me, for instance. If I go to his channel, and I click on it, since I'm not the owner, it's going to autoplay a video, right? And then you're going to pick a video, it will autoplay. And then I scroll down, and it's got different playlist series. So he's got the Fight Like series, he's got uploads, he's got Fight Tip of the Day. These are different playlists, and this is how you navigate someone's channel. So we're going to talk about the best way to optimize all of those things. I just wanted you to have a very basic layout of where things were. So that's the YouTube homepage, that's sort of the account settings and the dashboard, and of course the channel. Now let's move into what to do with these things.
Hey again guys, welcome to module 3 of the YouTube marketing funnel. Inside this module, we're going to be showing you how to find the right sort of content for your business. This satisfies the very first phase of the marketing funnel, how to increase the total amount of viewers your channel gets.
And this is really, really important because I know when I created my channel, I just started by creating the videos that I wanted to create. And while some of the content in those videos was very potentially engaging, it wasn't getting discovered. And I couldn't figure out why. This module is going to help you solve that problem before it ever happens, so you don't go down the road that I did of making good content and not getting it discovered. We're going to start with market research, right? You're going to learn exactly how to create titles and how to position your videos so that they're the types of things that are getting searched for on YouTube and you're more likely to come up. We're also going to realize that search is not the only way that your video is getting discovered, right? There's the YouTube homepage. There's a number of other things that you want to keep in mind even when your video is very much in the concept stage. So this market research is going to inform a lot of the creation that comes after. It's a critical piece, and I'm excited to dive into it. Okay, now we're going to do something that is really, really important for your YouTube success, and that is keyword research. The reason that this is important is because YouTube, much like Google, is a search engine. It's just a search engine for videos. So when you compare this to Google, you type in a thing, how to tie a tie, you get a list of answers that will tell you how to tie a tie. And because it's run by Google, there's an algorithm that is saying, okay, these are good videos that we want to show to the kind of person who's looking for how to tie a tie. So the most important thing for you to think about when you're doing this is what kinds of keywords is my target market going to be interested in. So I'm going to give you some examples to try to develop a list of keywords that you can use to then hone down to a title and then hone down to a video. So we're going to work with my niche, which is confidence and charisma. And the first thing that you're going to want to do to try to decide what keywords people might be looking for is use YouTube's auto-suggest. Now, the important thing that you'll see here is that I'm in an incognito window. This is very important because if you're in a normal Chrome browser window, your auto suggestions that this gives you are going to be based on things that you have already typed into YouTube because it has information about you. It follows you with cookies. So if you don't know how to get to an incognito window, on Google Chrome, you can just go File, New Incognito Window, and here we are. I've already taken the liberty of doing this, so we have this open. So there's no search data other than how to tie a tie for this. So anytime I type in how to, I'm going to get new stuff. And it looks like it already knows that I want to tie a tie. So we'll start a brand new one. All right, so this is a new incognito window. I'm logged in. Just take a look. There is some how to tie a tie, but there's not how to tie a bow tie. So that's how I know that it's not following me in the same way. So things that I have. So I have how to be, and let's take a look. So every time I type in a new letter, it's going to give the suggestions honed down there. So I'm curious how to be confident, how to be charismatic. So I want to see how to be C. Okay, how to be confident is one of the first ones, and it's above how to be cool, cute. Charismatic is below it, how to be confident while speaking. This is another thing that you'll start to realize. You might not be able to rank, and in fact, I have a tough time taking, even with 25,000 subscribers, for these really short keyword things like how to be confident. That's why what you want to target sometimes at the very beginning are these long tail keywords. And long tail keywords just means that it's how to be confident with something else on it. So I type in how to be confident space, and I see what the longer tail searches that people are doing are. These are going to be easier for me to rank for. So I've got how to be confident while. And if I typed in how to be confident and made it even longer tail, in how to be confident in yourself, interview, basketball, school. These are the types of things that I could potentially rank for very easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a list of these things, and you can start writing these down in a separate file or folder. So I've got how to be confident. The other ones that I like to do, I like to start with how to be more. You can look at that, more productive, more flexible, and then start typing in the certain letter of your niche, whatever it is. So if you have a how-to style niche, go ahead and do that. The other thing is, if you have a keyword and you're not sure where to start, you can just type it in. So you've got Blender, okay, Blender tutorial, right? If I type in a space, it's going to give me everything that has Blender and then a space. If I type in a space before Blender, actually this is only going to work on Google. I'll show you over here. Blender. If I type in a space before Blender, I get the things that people are searching before that word. So a beauty blender, a Vitamix blender. If assuming that blenders is your niche, that's something that you can then take back. So I might type in Beauty blender. I have no idea what this is, but okay. So now we've got beauty blender tutorial. So get really creative. This is one of the best tools that you have to try to figure out what keywords people are looking for. And there are tools out there that do this, but I am not beyond just typing in how to be C space, right? E. See what how to be emo, right? How to be W, right? And just taking a look at the things that are very common searches that people in my niche might be searching for. That's how I came up with how to be funny. I didn't think about that, but that's something that people are looking for that is related to confidence and charisma. So say that you've got your list now. You've gone through this and you've been like, okay, we've got how to be confident, how to be charismatic, how to be funny. You've got a couple of the keywords that you think people are looking for based on this auto-suggest feature. The next thing that you're going to want to do is get a general idea for about how many people are having that search. And this is not an exact science with YouTube, because one of the reasons is that Google doesn't give that search data out. So there's a couple ways that we can go about trying to get a guesstimate of what that is. The first is called Google's Keyword Planner. So you just can Google the Google Keyword Planner, and you're going to have an AdWords account for this. So you go to the Google Keyword Planner. I'm already set up with AdWords, so I sign in. And I will sign in. It's going to load my account data, which you should have, and I think it's going to take me to my account settings here. Great. So this is what the Google AdWords Keyword Planner looks like. The first thing that you're going to want to click is search for new keywords using a phrase, website, or category. It's going to come down your product or service, your landing page. There's a lot of really fascinating ways to use this, but keeping it simple, and I think the best way, is to start with those things that you generated from the autosuggest. So I have how to be charismatic, how to be confident. I don't think caps matter, but I'll keep it even. How to be funny. So you can have a long, long list. You can type in 15 things. I like to clump them in groups of 5 to 10 or even 3 in this case. So the next thing I'm going to do is just take that over, click Get Ideas, and see what it generates for me. So if you're not familiar with the Google Keyword Planner, it's a really, really powerful tool. I'll explain what it is. There's a lot of information going on here. I'm going to hone down on the stuff that is most important for you. So first off, you got targeting. You can target by just specific places that you want to go. I keep it at all locations, but if you know that your market is only in one country or something like that, feel free to limit it down. It's still going to be heavily skewed towards US searches because you're speaking I'm assuming in English. So the first thing they're going to see is this Ad Group Ideas tab. And what this does is it takes the things that you've typed in, which you can see right here. If I wanted to add any more, I could just type in a comma right here and add something to it, click Get Ideas and start over. But it's got the things that I've given it, how to be charismatic, how to be confident, how to be funny, and it's given me suggestions, and it has also associated the average monthly searches through Google. This is not through YouTube, keep in mind. This is the amount of people that are searching the Google search engine for these types of keywords. Competition, don't worry about this. This is just for the AdWords platform, right? That doesn't mean that there's not a lot of organic competition. It could be very, very competitive, but not a lot of people are paying to rank on AdWords, and that's the suggested bid. This is an AdWords tool, which is why there's all this stuff. But say that I'm looking through here, and I might find, okay, if we got a lot on confidence, becoming confident. And interestingly, if I look at this, I see that building self-confidence is one of the more popular. If you look at it, it's got over 11,000. Same thing with gaining confidence. So I want to hone down on this. So I click this. How to gain confidence. Interesting. I wasn't going to look for how to gain confidence, but now that's a keyword that I have. So I write that down on my list, and I can even look how to gain confidence. And if I wanted to go for those long tails, I might go, oh, interesting, how to gain confidence in yourself, or how to gain confidence and self-esteem, or if I'm even more honed down, how to gain confidence in public speaking. That's a long tail keyword that I can then take back because I'm curious. Okay, say that I like this now, so I've copied that over. Whoops, that's not what I want. How to gain confidence in public speaking. I'm going to get ideas. So it's reloading. It's going to redo all this based on that. Now, you'll notice here, nothing has changed in the Ad Group Ideas tab because these are still words that are associated with the ones that I did. And I didn't really change the searches. It just showed me more. Here's more confident, which is even more popular. When I want to see the exact volume of the keywords that I typed in up here, I click this tab here, Keyword Ideas. going to take a second to load, and it's only going to show me now the specific keywords that I've searched for. So now I've got the average monthly searches on the Google platform. Keep in mind, this is not YouTube for these searches. And I've got how to be confident, very popular, 33,000, and how to gain confidence in public speaking, only 140. Interesting. So let's go back and see what else people are searching for here. So that one's a little bit small. I'm looking for at least several hundred views or searches per month in Google, because for many searches, they're more popular in Google than they will be in YouTube. Certain things are going to be more popular in YouTube, like music videos and that kind of stuff. But typically speaking, I want it to have at least several hundred before I write it down as a viable keyword. So let's go back. So I don't want public speaking. Let's try how to gain confidence in yourself. And the reason that I went back to that, just to make clear, it ranks these in order of popularity. So from top to bottom, in yourself is more popular than in self-esteem, is more popular than with women, all the way down to the bottom. So let's go back here. How to gain confidence in yourself. Interesting. Now that is that's looking like a keyword if I've got a beginning channel that I'm going to feel good about doing, because it's got 880 average monthly searches. So that's really interesting for me. I want to write that down as something that I am interested in doing. So this is the general process. You're going to bounce back and forth between the keyword planner, the auto suggest tool, and this is going to help you come up with a list of interesting ideas. I do want to introduce you to one more tool, and this one is interesting because while it doesn't give you the exact amount of searches, it shows you YouTube searches, and that is Google Trends. So let's go over to Google Trends now. You can just Google Trends, click it, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to explore talk of it. So how to gain confidence in yourself. The thing with Google Trends is it's not as precise of a tool, right? So this 100 just means it's relative to 0. So nobody was searching, and then relative to 0, a lot of people are searching. That doesn't tell me a lot. So this is 2004 to present as well. I want to go past 90 days, and this is important. I want to go YouTube search. Now this is very common. When you have keywords that only have less than several thousand searches per month, they're not going to show up on Google Trends. Google Trends is about big trends, but there might be some cases, say that you've gotten your channel to a point where you're like, you know what, I think I can rank for some of those bigger keywords. I can try how to be confident, and I can compare that to, okay, interesting, how to be more confident, and I can compare that to how to gain confidence. Okay, and I'm going to delete this. So what you don't realize is that I've since deleted that. This is going to compare these relative to one another. So while I don't know how many people are searching, I do know that how to be confident is much more popular than how to be more confident or how to gain confidence on the YouTube platform in the last 90 days. So this is a really good tool as a tiebreaker. I often use this. I do charisma breakdowns. When I'm trying to figure out which person I should do charisma breakdowns for, I'll show you, just recently we were between some people. This is where I go. So I'm curious what's going on with this. One of the recent ones we did was on Donald Trump, who is very popular right now. Okay, so there's Donald Trump's over the past 90 days, and I was curious if someone like Jim Carrey could even stand a chance. I wanted to do a comedy breakdown. And Jim Carrey wasn't searched off enough, so hold on. If I get the actor Jim Carrey, where is he? Do I spell it like this? There he goes, 2 R's. So this is Jim Carrey related to Donald Trump. And the reason that his is hashtagged, or hyphenated rather, is because I actually indicated to Google who I was talking about. Here's Donald Trump. So when I look at these and I'm going, okay, I want to rank, I want to get in front of more people. Who's going to be more popular? It looks like Donald Trump. And I can add up to 5 of these people and type them in to see which one. So this is a really good tool. Once you've gone through the YouTube auto suggest and you've got the keyword planner, if there's enough volume behind those, you can go to Google Trends and see which one is going to be the tiebreaker. That's really, really valuable when you're between keywords for titles. So that's it for keyword research. These are the main tools that you're going to want to use. You're going to spend a lot of time here. And the important part now is what this has given you is the raw materials to craft a really compelling title, which is what we're going to talk about next. Now we've got these keyword ideas, but we need to pause for a second just to see how people discover you on YouTube before you come up with your YouTube title, because this is really, really important. You want to craft the title for how you expect people to find you. So to do that, what I recommend is going to YouTube. You've got your account, and I'm just going to walk you through mine. You don't necessarily need to do this on yours if you don't have a channel, but if you do have a channel, I recommend following along with me because it's going to be very informative. So if you don't have a channel, you're still good. Analytics is what you're going to click once you're in the Creator Studio. And in the Analytics tab, it's going to have a whole bunch of different reports that you can get. And the one that I'm interested in is traffic sources. These are the ways that people find your YouTube channel. And I want to talk about what these all are. So if you look, every channel's got a different layout. I'm not telling you this is what you should expect. Some are very, very search heavy. Some come from Google. This is what mine looks like. So if you see, the first thing here that is top over the last month or so, about 37% is suggested videos. Suggested videos are those that come up. I want to start a new one. So YouTube, if I search how to be confident and I watch this, so here's how to be confident. So these are the suggested videos. These are on the side. And then of course, after this video, it's going to populate this space with a bunch of suggested videos. That's how people tend to find me. Now, the way that you're going to show up for suggested videos is if your video is A, relevant based on the keywords and the metadata that you're going to put in. We're going to talk about all that. And if it gets clicked on a lot. Now, what determines if people click on it? Obviously relevancy, but also a really attractive thumbnail. So that's what suggested videos indicate. You want to target interesting titles that are attention grabbing, have cool thumbnails, and are going to be highly targeted towards the type of video that you're doing. So this is not necessarily going to be SEO optimized. Oftentimes, suggested videos that do really well are ones that have kind of clickbaity titles. They're ones that make people go, oh, I need to see what that is, and they click it. So anyway, that's suggested videos. The second thing is browse features. Now, that doesn't make much sense, all right? This is not necessarily the second thing for everybody, but what is a browse feature? Well, I can click it and drill down onto that to see what it is. And what you'll see is that the vast majority of these for my channel are home. And the second one is subscriptions, which corresponds when I release a video every week, that little red triangle spikes. So these are home page views. This is when you log into YouTube and it gives you those recommended videos or something, or it's like, this is trending right now. That is very similar to the type of thing that's going to be popular for suggested videos, except that it's not directly related to something that you've previously watched in the first second. It might be, I did a lot of research on Donald Trump for my most recent video, so now it's recommending debate stuff, Donald Trump, a lot of random things. Watch it again, things that I've already seen. YouTubers that I might have watched before, somebody that I'm subscribed to. This is what the homepage is. And again, the type of things that are going to show up on people's homepage are going to be related to videos they've seen in the past. But what gets clicked are things with really attractive thumbnails and cool titles. Think about how you browse the homepage. So that is the second piece. And we're going to go back. We've already done the suggested videos. That accounts for almost, well above 50% of mine. Then you've got external. So let's see what this is in my case. External means anything outside of YouTube. And in my case, we've got, here's a website, someonereddit.com. Embedly.com is typically mismarked things that are coming from other websites. It's kind of tough to drill down. Oftentimes it can be Reddit, but it couldn't be anything. These are other websites that might have your videos embedded on them. And this is where your views are coming from. So how do you get this? Well, this is through relationships and just creating videos that people want to spread and share on their website. So we'll go back. This one is often an offshoot of either just creating good content or promotional activities that we'll cover in different lectures. So there's external, and then you've got YouTube channels. Most of these are going to be straight off of your channel. This is it, 98% of them, and then plus 1%, and that's it, right? One person might have me linked in their channel, right? But not a ton. The vast majority of these, unless other YouTubers are linking to you from their channel, are going to be from your channel. This is just a good indication that people like what you're doing. They're going to your channel and then kind of scrolling through the types of things that you have. So what's going to be popular, again, on your channel is things that have attractive thumbnails and really catchy titles. Now, that's very consistent with these three. External is about relationships. YouTube search is the different one. The interesting thing about YouTube search is that it is what people are, it's the search engine aspect of YouTube. Now, this is not a big one on my channel, but it is very important for many people's channels. And this will tell you the actual keywords that people are using to find what you're doing, right? So it's when people search Donald Trump, Conor McGregor confidence, Trump in the last couple days, confidence, how to be more confident. And very interestingly, you can drill down even by specific videos. So if I went to my Conor McGregor video, which is how to be confident, I can see, after I type that in, the specific searches that people are using to find this video. How to be more confident. Conor McGregor, McGregor confidence, how to be more confident. This is all going to help with meta tags and that kind of stuff. But for now, the thing to keep in mind is that there's a couple ways that you're going to want to optimize your videos depending on how you want them to spread. So if you're creating a how-to video, say, that is very rich, it solves a specific problem that you know people are looking for, you might say, you know what, I want this to be a search play. So when I title it, I'm going to call it very straightforward, how to blank, solve this problem. Or you might have a video where you go, you know what, this is really good content, but I don't think that people are necessarily going to be searching it, right? So for me, I'll give you, for example, one of each. Go to my own videos. And you can actually combine these. So you can see right here, Donald Trump is actually a master psychologist. That's gotten 25,000 views. Now, nobody is searching for Donald Trump is actually a master psychologist. Of course, it could rank for Donald Trump, but that's very competitive. I set this one up to be one of those very grabby ones that if you see on your homepage, it's got the pink background, the really attractive thumbnail, you're going to want to click that. Other ones that I might have, let's see, how to stay motivated. This one I recognize is probably going to be more of a search play. I'm looking for people who are doing, who are searching for how to be motivated. And if I go through all of this, I can sometimes combine two. So we've got interesting background, of course. I try to make all the thumbnails good, but how to flirt with women, right? That is a search term that I did research and found people were looking for. Oftentimes, I will try to combine, if I can, a little bit of SEO with something that's still engaging. But you can see how to influence people, Ricky Martin, charisma breakdown, not the most engaging title. It's more of an SEO play. So lots of mine are SEO plays, and I found that those actually haven't been getting me the search juice that I wanted. So I've started switching them over recently to more grabby ones, right, with the clickbait. Donald Trump's debates, 5 mental tricks you didn't notice. Donald Trump is actually a master psychologist. And these are things that are covered. I say clickbait, but the truth is these are things that are covered in these videos. It's not like it's a deceptive form of this video is about something else completely, but the title grabs people. It makes them want to click on it. And I found that that has been successful for me. So this video is to say that when you're titling, there's not just one way to do it. You need to think about, is this video a search play, right? Does it solve a specific problem? And I think I'm going to do really well on a long tail keyword search, or is it good content that people aren't necessarily searching for? So I'm going to try to rank really well in suggested videos and on the homepage so that people click it. That is what you're going to have to decide here, and that's going to weigh how heavily you do use this sort of keyword search terms that we've talked about when using and creating your title. So now you've got a general understanding of the keywords that you're interested in using, as well as the ways that people are going to discover your videos. So you know whether you're going for a more interesting title that's going to really grab attention, or if you're targeting it more towards an SEO play so people can search you. Let's say that you're trying to split the difference. You want to get some SEO juice, but you'd also like to make it an interesting title. How can we go about doing that? Well, one of the ways is to see what already works. So we've settled now on how to gain confidence. And let's say we want to just start with how to gain confidence, and we'll do a long tail. We want to do how to gain confidence in yourself. Now, one option, of course, is just to have this be the title. It's not a bad title, how to gain confidence in yourself. If I want to see what other people are doing and what they're ranking for, I can look at the titles that are already doing well. So we've got how to build self-confidence, how to build confidence in yourself, accepting a build mindset Monday. This is an interesting thing. 5 easy steps to build. Now, this might hurt the SEO aspect a little bit because 5 easy steps comes early on in the title, but I find that people tend to click things more that have, 5 steps too, or the 5 things. Any sort of number, whether you're talking YouTube or the web in general, tends to get people interested. So we've got 3 ways, 5, a user's guide, how to be confident, 10 tips for improving self-esteem. So what I'm seeing here is that a really common one is they talk about confidence, self-esteem, and a number. So what I might do is, if I'm interested in the title, I might do how to gain confidence 5 easy tips, or 5 easy, how to gain confidence, 5 ways you didn't think of. Now I'm in the didn't notice because that was the most recent title that I just created. That's where my mind is. But you can do 5 easy steps, 5 ways you might not have heard, whatever you want. And that's how you might combine an SEO targeted title, which is the how to gain confidence part, with something that's more engaging to click, which would be that 5 steps. Now, typically speaking, if the earlier in your phrase that you have the keyword, the more you're targeting SEO. But there's going to be times where, for the sake of making an engaging title, what you want to do is add that number first, right? So there's not a science to this. It's more of an art. So you got to kind of figure out, okay, do I definitely want to have how to gain confidence because I really want to rank for that? Or am I trying to get more people to click on it when they see it, so I'm going to have a title that is more grabby? That is going to be more of an art, like I said, and you can play with it back and forth. Recently, I've seen that I focused way too much on the SEO aspect of my previous ones. And if I go to my channel right here, I just show you, I go to my most popular. These are going to be most viewed. So this one is a nice little break, is a split. How to be more confident, Conor McGregor. How to make eye contact, how to flirt. All of mine have how. But the most recent ones that I've created that are already like 9 and 10, right? So this one I created just a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks. It's already pushing with some of the videos that have been out for years at this point. And so this one, for instance, has been out since 2014. So I'm finding recently that more attention-grabbing titles are performing better. So I'm going to experiment with that. This one, How to Smile Perfectly, 3 Keys to an Irresistible Smile. You see that there's kind of a play both on the SEO and as well on the search aspect, or sorry, on the click attractiveness. Now, you can also go to your analytics to figure out which way these tend to be breaking. If you go to your analytics and say that I just wanted to know, okay, so I know that my Conor McGregor video is very popular, but is it because of search or is it because of something else? Well, I can look that up. So I'm going to say, so we got traffic sources, go up here, and I just want to see that Conor McGregor. This is my most popular video, and I'm curious, how do people get there? And interestingly, it's not search heavy. Sure, is it getting some views from How to Be Confident? Yes. But a total of, what is that, 70, 80% is coming straight from, sorry, that's 50 plus 32. that's 80% is coming straight from the YouTube homepage or suggested videos, versus the, Conor McGregor Confidence. All of these combined are driving 8%. So what I'm seeing in my channel is I want to go more for those click ones. You're going to have to do the analysis on your channel to see, but this is just to give you an idea of the direction that you can go. So you can split the difference, go keyword heavy for SEO, and put that back thing, 3 tips to. That's the way that I like to do it, and that's worked for me so far. Experiment with your own channel, see what works for you, and then analyze it and use what sticks. So now what you have is a title that is SEO optimized and or ready to be clicked on the suggested videos or the homepage. The important thing now to do is to set it up so that you have content behind that is really engaging. And before we talk about how to break down your video, what to do in the first 30 seconds, it's really worth figuring out, what is your format? How do you want to do this? Because there's a lot of different ways that you may not have considered. So the first thing to do is realize that you don't just have to stand in front of a camera or talk, nor do you have to animate. There's a lot of different ways to do it. And just to show you some of the examples, I'll quickly go through. One of the most common videos on YouTube is going to be the talking head. And as I look through these thumbnails, I see a lot of talking heads. But there's also different things. So right here, if I click it, this looks like it's not a talking head. And I've got it muted. But sure enough, this is an animated video, right? There's a different way to talk about it. And there's a guy that's voicing it over. If we listen.
They usually end up with the window seat on airplanes.
Perfect. So that is a different type of video, is that animated video. You've got interview series. You've got tons of questions. There's different ways to do talking heads. You can have just 1 camera or 2 cameras. It's worth watching just a number of people in your niche that are successful, seeing what they're doing, and then deciding, okay, is this something I want to emulate because this plays to my strengths, because I'm really comfortable on camera and I can talk? Or, okay, is there a hole in my niche for perhaps an animated thing or a screen flow thing? Or what I've done is found the unique thing in my niche is that a lot of people who are talking about confidence, charisma, are basically just standing in front of a camera. But what I do is I go in, and if you watch any of these videos, I break down celebrities, and that looks like, we'll take this one for instance. What's up, everybody? This is Charlie from Charisma on Command, and today I'm going to be doing a charisma break. So you see, there's a static image of this guy behind it, and it's me talking over it. And what we do is I let him...
The wick. So you guys...
I'll let him talk, and I use this program called ScreenFlow to pause and say what he's doing at every step of the way. That has been a really successful format for us. And the thing that I've realized is that choosing the right format has a ton to do with your success on YouTube. If you're an incredible speaker and you can get into a crowded field with a lot of people speaking but be the best, awesome. But if you don't think that you can compete with whatever sort of stuff the other people have, whether they're more charismatic or more comfortable on camera or have higher production, go with a different format and experiment. That's what we found. I can get in front of a camera and talk, but it's not going to be as novel for people in this niche as these kinds of breakdowns. So that's what we've done. And again, the way to do this is not necessarily just to emulate what's successful in your niche. It's to get an idea of what exists in your niche and then see, okay, are there holes here that suit my strengths, whether that be animating or speaking or doing some sort of interview thing. Figure out the format that isn't there and that you can do well, and that is going to help you figure out what kinds of videos to make. Huge suggestion. Cannot overlook that, because otherwise you're just competing in a very crowded field with a lot of people and you don't have the social proof necessarily to break in.
Hey guys, welcome to Module 4 now. Congratulations on making it this far. Things are going to start to get exciting inside this module because we're actually touching now on the traffic section of our YouTube funnel. What we're going to be teaching you is how to create and set up your videos in order to get the maximum view time possible.
Now, this is a section that when I first was into YouTube, I completely blew by, and it made a huge issue. Again, a lot of people think that they can go into YouTube, and if they create good content, that will be enough. The truth is, the way that YouTube works, attention spans are very, very small. This isn't like TV where people are willing to sit through commercials. It's not like Udemy where people have paid and are willing to sit through introductions like this that talk about what's going on. If you don't get into the meat of your YouTube video quickly, but while still hooking an audience, people are going to click away. Right? If the content that you have isn't tight and succinct and delivering specific value to the people that are in your niche, they're going to navigate away. And then, of course, the last piece, something that people just tend to forget, is that the point of the video is not simply to be watched. There needs to be a call to action and some very specific calls to actions that are going to get people onto your email list, as well as increase the chance that YouTube places your video on the homepage. So that's why this is so important. All right now what we want to do is talk about how to structure your video so that it remains interesting and relevant throughout. Because one of the things that Google and YouTube are judging you on is your watch time. Now, watch time is an absolutely critical metric because it's how Google and YouTube decide whether your video goes on the homepage, whether it comes up in suggested videos. This is the metric they care about. They want as many eyeballs on YouTube for as long as possible. So if when people click your videos and they watch 20 minutes and then click a new video and watch another 10, that's great for watch time. But if people click your videos and they find it's not what they wanted, or it's boring and it doesn't hold their attention, they click off, that tells the algorithm to downgrade your video, and you're less likely to appear in search or on the homepage, and that's going to be very crippling. Now, I want to go through some of my early videos. They've got a lot of issues with sound and all that kind of stuff, but show you a bad thing that I did for watch time. Some of these videos have overcome it, but a lot of my videos with really good content still remain at the bottom of the pile of the ones that I currently have in terms of views. So I'm going to click this right here. This is one of my first videos. It's got sound out of one ear. It's not good.
What's up, everybody? This is Charlie from Charisma on Command, and I'm going to have today for you a video breakdown of charismatic eye contact.
So, leaving the sound out that is coming out of one speaker, 7 seconds in, and okay, we're talking about eye contact. Let's see what else. 20 seconds in.
Post about. And people always question what it is that creates this effect.
Still me talking about the intro, what's going to happen.
Mystical thing that Bill Clinton has, but that you can actually learn to practice as well.
50 seconds in, nothing's happened.
So, right here, Bill, he quickly closes the distance.
So it's about 1 minute and 10 seconds into this video before I actually let the clip run, because I've got all this big preamble. That is not what you want to do. And I've started shrinking. The preamble got down to 30 seconds. And then most recently, I started doing something differently, which is having a lot of images in the beginning of my videos. So the most recent one, which is a new video, so I don't think it's necessarily at the top, or it might actually be. I might have overshot it. Let me see if I can find it in my regular video manager. So this one has a much more engaging intro, and does it have 30 seconds of intro? Sure, but look at the imagery as compared to the last one. This might sound crazy, but after watching hours of footage from the last several months of debates and interviews, I say this with confidence. Donald Trump is a master persuader. So, 8 seconds in, compared to that first one, it was just me introducing myself, saying who I was, but honestly, people don't care. There's time to introduce yourself later. You want to typically spend the first 10 seconds, 5 seconds, hooking attention. Now, some people have a little tag that goes after that. They'll have their little intro thing, which is sort of like a logo that spins onto it. I don't have that. You can do that for branding purposes, but if you do, keep it to 3 seconds. None of these long title sequences, people do not want to see that on YouTube. They will click away. It will hurt your watch time. So one of the things to consider is, yes, do you have to intro your video? Can you just jump right into the content? Probably not. You need to engage people and tell them, why confidence is important, why they should care about watching Donald Trump. But keep that to a minimum. And if you can, have associated visuals that are going to hook attention. And what that means that I found is an image that changes every 3 to 4 seconds. That's just something, and it goes way more than that at the beginning. I'm going to mute this just so you can see how quickly the images change at the beginning. So there's different clips of him. I've got an annotation that people can click, which is kind of obnoxious, but it gets clicked. Here's the ad that pops up, as it will. And you see there's all of these different clips in rapid succession. This hooks people even as I'm giving my intro. And by the time I get to the content, they're going, okay, they're hooked, they're there, they're interested, they've listened to the intro, and now they're ready. That is step 1. Now people have gone through your intro, they're ready for the content, and this is where you're going to deliver your special secret sauce, right? This is where you show your expertise, whether it's being humorous or educating or maybe doing both at the same time, which would be ideal. So this for you is going to be particular to every individual, but I want to talk about a couple of the things that you can do to hook people. One of them is in the intro mention that there are 5 things, right? So there's, we're going to talk about 5 things that Donald Trump is doing that you didn't notice. And as you go through and tick down those numbers, that keeps people hooked, that keeps that watch time rolling along, it makes people want to stay. The other thing that you can do is, we also talked about this for the intro, but I'm going to show you a great example, So these are the Vlog Brothers. These guys are huge on YouTube, very, very big following. But I want to just show you, and I'm going to, this is their most current video. I've got it on mute, but just watch what's going on every couple of seconds with the video. You see that right there? That is called a jump cut. And that is very, very popular in video blogs. And it should be popular in a lot of other things, because as I turn the sound on, what you'll realize is that jump cut eliminates basically any silence. And this keeps you watching their whole videos. It's crazy to think, but when we tune out, it's actually often between sentences. So by going through and editing your videos with these jump cuts, it keeps people hooked. Take a look.
That instead of pouring milk on my cereal, I use water. Now, NerdBiteDairy is generally a very supportive community, but their condemnation of my cereal eating habits was swift and nearly universal. People sent in scientific studies.
Hear that? He's cut out the breaths that he takes in between his individual sentences. And what that does is it keeps people, again, rolling along. That watch time continues. Everybody's going to be different here. There's another guy who does exactly the opposite and is popular as well. This is Elliot Hulse. He's got video blogs where he'll stand there, and for 10 minutes, he will just speak to a camera. No cuts, no nothing, off the cuff, looking at it. Again, we can listen to just a few seconds of this to see the difference.
Becomes depressed, right? If you're thinking negative things, can you smile and laugh and tell jokes and go run around in circles with children and play and dance? Right? You can't do it because you've got...
So you'll notice there's pauses there, but how does he keep people engaged? He is a very compelling speaker. He moves around. He's screaming up and down. He's acting things out. You can even see it in a lot of his thumbnails. So you're going to need to figure out what it is that you can do in the meat of your videos to hook people. You can use things like the jump cut to do it. You can be really engaging on camera. You can have, oftentimes, what I've resorted to is just having these different clips that I know I need to get into every 2 minutes or so. If I'm ever just speaking on a dry background like this in a YouTube format, people will click away. Because you're here on Udemy, you are here to learn. You're going to stick around for much longer. But in YouTube, attention spans are short. People are going away, and you need that watch time to stick around. So really quickly, just show you where to find that, because it is a good thing to know for your channel. Average view duration. That is the watch time on your particular videos. And you want to take a look at your videos and make sure that that is going up. So one other thing, if you're curious what these different videos look like, I showed you 2 videos earlier. I showed you Bill Clinton. So here's Bill Clinton. Here is my retention rate. And you
What's
see,
up, everybody? This is Charlie
it
from Charisma on
drops
Command, and I'm going to have today for you
25%.
a video breakdown of charismatic.
And you can see how quickly that goes. And I'm curious, I've not looked at this, but at the new Donald Trump video. Donald, 5 mental tricks. So this might sound crazy, but after watching hours of footage from the last take a look at that. So it was down to 75% right around here. It doesn't get to 75% till almost a full minute in. So that's really a huge difference. That's what a good engaging title can do. And then I can see how my content is doing out here, right? Where am I losing people? Do I have some boring stuff going on? That is a really, really helpful thing for you to do and go back and check, okay, wow, when I talk about this topic, people tune out. Or when I do it without the jump cuts, people drop much faster. And of course, at the end, this is going to be what we're going to talk about next. This is your pitch, and not everybody's going to stick around for it, but it's a really, really important thing. So that's coming up next. All right, now we're getting into the real funnel aspect of this. So you've got a killer intro, you've hooked people, you've given them some great content. Now it's time to see if they're interested in joining your email list and basically engaging with you further. This is where you can start to make money, because the truth is YouTube subscribers do not equal dollars. The real money that is likely to come from this process is in building an email list and then building a relationship off YouTube through email and then selling products or services through that. So this call to action section is very important. There's 2 pieces. There's the primary call to action, which is going to be click here to get this extra thing, right? This is often called a lead magnet. So you're going to say, if you're interested in blah, 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 click here to get this. And I'm going to show you the full example. And then there's the secondary sort of calls to action, which are, if you like this video, like it. If you like this video, comment below about one thing you'd like to see. And I'm going to talk about how to do all of those specifically. So one thing that we can do off the very bat is just watch one of my calls to action. And I chose this one because it has the highest click-through rate. So let's just listen. If you want to know 4 things that you can do early in an interaction, these are things that Ricky is doing here to make an amazing first. So the first piece is you would like to relate your call to action back to the video that people just saw. So my call to action is to get this extra video on the 4 emotions that will help you make an amazing first impression. And they've just watched a video where Ricky Martin has made an amazing first impression. So I'm saying Ricky is doing these things. If you want to find out what they are, go ahead and click. So see if you can relate it back. The second thing is that I often start this with if. If you've liked this, if you want to know, if you have questions, and oftentimes people do. So that will just let them identify themselves as someone who should do this thing. So I'll say, if you like this video, or if you would like to get these calls to actions, that's a really strong way to set this up. Impression. You can go ahead and click the link now. So you can go ahead and click the link now. And what I've done is I've set up an annotation here. We're going to walk you through how to do that, and you set it up so that people can click it. And again, we'll go through all of this in detail, but they'll be taken to another page where they can go ahead, get their email. Now, this is the rest of the call to action. Listen carefully. Take you to a video that discusses what these 4 emotions are and the exact order that you need to hit them in order to make a first impression on anyone, anywhere, on a TV show or in your life. So you'll notice that this isn't just a click here to join my newsletter. I'm giving them something. This is really important. We're going to talk about the types of things that you need to have in this lead magnet. Obviously, you would like it to be related to the video that you're doing and to the product that you will eventually be selling or the service, but you want to sell it here, right? Why does this matter? Take a couple of sentences to give that to them, because otherwise people have no reason to click. So go ahead now, click that link, it'll take you to that video. Also here, this is what's called a card. This is so that people can click on mobile, because annotations don't show up on mobile. Again, we're going to walk through all of this so that you can get now. If you've liked this video, go ahead. This is the secondary call to action. So it might be a lot to ask someone to click and join your email list. Now, oftentimes I actually realize, I don't know if I did in this one, but I will tell them that they'll go to another page and they drop their email. I believe I did in that one. You want to make it clear that it's not just, okay, click this and get the video, because then what you'll get is people clicking, expecting a video, they get a page like this and they get upset. So say, if you've liked this and you want to get the 4 emotions or whatever it is that you're selling, go ahead, click this button here. It'll take you to a page where you can go ahead, drop your email, and then you'll be taken immediately to a page with your fill in the blank, email, PDF, whatever it is that you're giving them. So that's the primary call to action. Now we're moving into the secondary ones because it might be a lot for them to join your email list after one video. They might not want it. They might not like this specific offer, but still they might like your video. They might comment, and all of those things are going to signal to Google/YouTube that this is a good video and it should be upgraded in terms of the suggested videos and in terms of the homepage ranking. So that's when we do the secondary call to action. Take a listen. And subscribe, thumbs up. If you have any other videos, you'll notice when I say subscribe, I also set the annotation to subscribe here and see the new videos so people can hopefully subscribe. People that you think are really charismatic, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I love those because they really help me cut down the amount of research I have to do. I'm Charlie from Charisma on Command. And again, and I can sell that a little bit more, but I prefer to spend my time selling the primary call to action, put a couple sentences there, and then just very quickly encourage them to, if you like this video and you want to see more, be the first to get them subscribe. If you've liked this and want to let me know, go ahead and thumbs up. I appreciate that. And of course, in the comments thing, what you're going to want to do is ask a question. Give them something specific to comment. This is really huge. Comments are important for rankings. Google does look at them. They call it engagement. And people need to know what you want them to comment. So if you have, suggestions for future videos, who did you think did better in this circumstance? Ask a question. Tell them something specific. If you just say comment below, that's a little bit too vague. A lot of people won't do it. When you give them a specific thing to comment on, you're much more likely to get that engagement. So that's the primary and the secondary call to action. Obviously, we hope that people join the email list here. And in terms of what to expect, if you do this right, I've seen anywhere between a 1 and a 4 to 5% click-through on this, which is I think quite good off YouTube, and I can go through the different ones that tend to perform better. But that's going to relate to the offer you have, how closely related it is to the video, and of course, how well you sell it at the end. Do you give them a compelling reason to join? The last thing that I should mention here is that oftentimes I've found that the calls to action for clicking and joining my email list that tend to do best are the ones where I focus on you. I say this is something that you can do. I speak in the second person rather than talking about this is something that I've created. So when you speak in you in terms of benefits to that person, I've found that those perform better. So just something else to keep in mind for the calls to action. We'll talk about how to set up all the technical side, but that is for the video creations thing. Really important. Do not leave this out. Otherwise, you've got a really big YouTube channel and not a lot of people on your email list and potentially not a lot of money coming in. So very important.